Hello and welcome to our program. My name is Brianna Bird, and I'll be your host today as we explore the topic crucial today of the vitality and relevance of one of America's most original art forms, jazz. Consider this statement by acclaimed cultural critic Martin Williams. It should be acknowledged that today jazz is not the popular idiom of American black men, and jazz shares such contributions as its blues scale and its unique musical form, the 12-bar blues with other popular idioms. But jazz is the most respected Afro-American idiom, the most highly developed one, and the idiom to which improvisation is crucially important. This statement was not written by Mr. Williams recently in the hip-hop era, but as long as 1970.
This is Mekamo Day. Good morning, sir. For the benefit of the viewers, please state your name and your title at WKKC Radio.
Abe Thompson, and my title is I'm the Director of Operations for WKKC Radio at Kennedy King College.
Okay, wonderful. Mr. Thompson, comparative data has recently shown us that jazz's profile on radio has diminished, with fewer artists getting airplay. Do you find that this is true, and what would you attribute to this?
Well, I guess if the data says it's true, or says it's so, I guess it's true in some sense. But radio stations, if you will, play what the audience wants and what's most popular. Because the purpose of the radio stations is to draw an audience, thereby to be able to sell their time on the air to advertisers at a certain rate. So they play what they feel or what research shows the audience wants to hear.
Okay. Joining us now is Professor Smith.
Good afternoon.
So can you tell us a little bit of history that you know about jazz?
You definitely cannot take out the socio-political context from the music, as well as just the musical value of the music itself. I think that's actually the bigger picture, or the bigger argument to be made, is what does society value in the arts itself, and even in educational settings, what subjects are taught and what perspective are they taught from. As we usually know, the victors of war usually write the history, and the same thing with education. The people that are in control of the educational system, they decide what subjects will be taught and what perspective they will be taught from. It can't be denied that jazz is an American music, and that African Americans invented the music, but there were other musics that played a role in jazz being formed. As a matter of fact, without slavery, we wouldn't have jazz, we wouldn't have R&B, we wouldn't have blues, we wouldn't have American music without slavery. That might be the only positive thing I could find out of slavery, but that's one of the reasons why we have jazz.
Thank you so much. Today we have joining with us Leo Odell. How you doing, Leo?
Hey, how you doing?
Good, good.
All right.
Now, can you tell us a little bit of history that you know about jazz?
About jazz? Okay,
Or just in your own words, your definition of jazz.
basically, jazz to me is what I've learned, and it basically is the experience of the one and the one Father, and they all in all into one. So then you fall into that the spiritual side of the music, and then that all falls on John Coltrane.
Mr. Pace, how did you come up with the name Coltrane Conservatory of Arts?
That's a very good question. John Coltrane, as many people know, was one of the most accomplished musicians that America has ever produced. Now, John, what many people don't know, in addition to being just an absolutely extraordinary musician who studied in India and other places, was just an enormous human being. And in fact, there was a church, and if I'm not mistaken, is located in South Carolina, which is where John is from. There's a church named St. John in his honor.
Joining us today, we have Hal Jackson. Hal, welcome, Chubb.
How you doing, Brianna?
Now, you are currently a drummer.
Yes, I'm a drummer and quasi keyboardist and producer too.
So since the subject here that we are discussing is jazz, can you tell me a little bit of history that you know on jazz?
Today you have jazz coming from all arenas. My greatest pianist right now is a young lady named Hiromi. She's from Japan, and she is just awesome. You know, if you ever get a chance to see her, Hiromi, she's an awesome keyboardist.
Again, from Martin Williams, it is as if jazz were telling us that not only is far greater individuality possible to man than he has so far allowed himself, but that such individuality, far from being a threat to a cooperative social structure, can actually enhance society.